Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Morello. We've been traveling through this journey of building wealth to double your income, increase your net worth, double your net worth. Wealth Principle 18 is a long one. I'm going to have to read it for you because I just wrote it. Wealth Principle 18, hold on. Start out. Wealth Principle 18, only deliver the highest quality services and constantly improve. Hands to the camera if you were here last year to watch Wealth Principle 18, Season 2. Excellent. What about Season 1? Who was here for Season 1? Been here for the last 3 years. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Dedication to the cause. Dedication to your net worth increasing. Hands to the camera if your net worth has increased over the last 2 years. Over the last 2 and 3 years. If your net worth has gone ridiculous because of the principles you're applying from these calls. Now, a lot of people have asked me, where do the wealth principles come from? Are they legitimate? Are they real? Well, the wealth principles were designed from other people. They're wealth principles. They're all over the universe. I've read over 400 books on personal development, success, building yourself up. But when I was in Vegas, I had dozens of notebooks that I took with me. I threw them all in the trunk. I took a few key books, took my foundational 5 books. Ask here if you know what those are. You know, the foundational 5. Awesome. So if you don't know what they are, you go to alchemistnation.com and check them out. So I took the foundational 5 and I took my personal notebooks, everything I'd written, all my little notes down on. And I threw them in the car and I drove out to Vegas. I spent about 3 months breaking down all my notes. And I consolidated them all to about 105, 112 different principles. And I realized 112 was going to be too many principles for me to actually keep track of and apply, unless I did maybe 2 per week. But what I wanted was something that I could apply in my business. I wanted something that I could come back and just constantly be improving one at a time, really going super deep on it. And we broke it down and I started adding some of the principles. This is one of them. This is a principle that got combined with another principle. And this was only deliver the highest quality of services. That was principle 1. And then the other principle was constantly improve your products and services. Hands to camera if you could see how I combined them. Only deliver the best quality and constantly improve. So Wealth Principle 18 comes from a space of, how do I sell? Who here knows they have to sell something? Who is in sales of some sort? How do I sell something? How do I find the product to sell? The product may not be perfect right now. This is the point. It may not be the ultimate perfect product, but it should be the best product you could find. In order to sell something, you got to believe in it. You got to be a buyer of it. And in order to build wealth, you've got to own stuff that is valuable. Hence, care if you're a real estate investor, own some real estate. Real estate investors, throw those hands to that camera. Awesome. Hence, care if you're a business owner, own a business that you're constantly improving. Awesome. Those 2 assets go up in value and they're very consistent. There are other asset classes like stocks or crypto. Those are paper assets, but still, most of them are ownership of either a piece of real estate or a business. In the business side of things, man, you can make a lot of money just by improving your product just a little bit and charging a little bit more. Who's seen that before? An improved product, they charge a little more and suddenly they're making more money. In real estate, it's even easier. Raise the rents, the value of the property goes up instantaneously just by increasing the rents. You go and turn a tenant or turn a unit, the rents go up, and now you're able to receive more in your business. That's from improving the quality of the product. Who has ever done a flip? What are my real estate investors ever done a flip before? Talk about taking a terrible product, doing a little conversion, improving it, and then selling it to somebody because it's just a little bit better. Our profit margins are 30% on that, 30, 40%. Who here has made more than 100,000 on a flip, a real estate flip in the past? Excellent. Who's made more than 50,000? Who's made more than 50,000 on a flip in the past? Who's made more than 20,000 on a flip? What about a wholesale deal? Has anybody ever done a wholesale deal made more than $5,000, $10,000 profit? Wholesalers? All right. So what did we do in a wholesale deal? How do we improve the product? We improved its positioning in the marketplace. Prior to the wholesaler signing that contract, nobody knew about the deal. This is why wholesalers make money. It's because they've improved positioning in the marketplace. Now more people know about the deal. The more people who know about it, the more you pay for it. Who's seen on MLS? You can't find deals that are good deals because everybody knows about it and they're paying more. Who's seeing the MLS is super hot, super, super hot? Yes. That's because more people know about those deals. Real estate agents have done really great positioning on those properties. But really, the MLS has done a great positioning by putting the visibility of the entire market all at anybody's fingertips. China can buy property in real estate. India can buy property in real estate because it's online. Just click, submit a contract, send the purchase and sale, and it's done. In your business, it is the same exact thing that we do in real estate. You want to constantly be improving your products, constantly be improving your systems, constantly improving your team. Who here has team members that they train, they work with? Anybody team members? Constantly improving your team members is going to constantly improve your product, your overall product that you're delivering. Now, why is it important to improve? We shared that just now. It's about increasing income, but how do we improve? How do we take some of the things that we've done and make them better? I'll give you an example of something we're doing right now in Alchemist Nation so that you can implement it in your business. We're going to do an action step just like we do every single week. We're going to apply this wealth principle into your life, into your world, so that you can go and maximize it, so that you can bring a better return on investment for yourself, your family, and your community. Hence the care if you're doing it for more than just yourself. You don't just make the money for the sake of making money, right? Even though I say it, we're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. So we sound like we're all about money. But what do you do with the money? What do you do once you have that extra 10,000 a month? Or for some people, it's, the 120,000 a year. What are you going to do with it? You're probably going to invest some, right? Hence, care if you'd invest some. Some of you would invest all of it, wouldn't you? I see Melanie on the call. It's like, I've invested all, bro. Like, what else would I do with the money? I keep pile driving. It just keeps growing. Some of you would spend time with your family, extra time. Maybe you would quit your job. You would spend more time with your family if you didn't have to work. Some of you would send that money to your kids, send them to better colleges, or go on vacations. Whatever you decide to do with the money, that's entirely your choice. But I think you should start with $1 million. I really do think that's a good place to start. It's a good foundation. It's a good spot. It's harder to get there than you think, and it's easier to get there than you think. I'll tell you, anybody, where are my millionaires at? Hands camera if you're a millionaire, if you made $1 million, own $1 million, have a net worth of $1 million, are thinking $1 million. So just think about before you had that million. You didn't know. You didn't know how easy it was going to be, right? You thought it was going to be impossible. Thought it was going to be really hard, but you went after it anyway. Hands to the camera if that first million was harder than you thought, easier than you thought. If it was both, absolutely. For me, it took me a lot longer than I expected, but it also happened much faster than my family expected. For this wealth principle, I want to focus 100% on the money side of things. I do want to focus on how important it is for your family. I want to talk about how important it is for your clients. But on the money side of things, if you're not improving your client's product, the service they're getting, they're not going to pay you. Right, Ryan? Like, Ryan's a financial planner. He gets it. He has to be better than everybody else, reposition himself so his product is better in order to get paid. We know that we have to do a better product for customer service, right? We have that internally. We always want to do a better product because, it's better for the community, it's better for your people, but you also have to do a better product, improve your product so that you can have more money, so that you can improve your product, so that you can have more money, so you can improve your product again. So the money side is necessary for product improvement. Who here has a product that money would help improve? Like, you have a product that you can improve with some money. Anybody? Yeah, we all do, right? Like, it would help pay for a better contractor. It would help pay for better quality countertops put into the units. A little more money would help us improve the product itself. So we run into this conundrum often with, well, I really want to make my product better because that's human nature. We always want to have the best product. Nobody goes out there and says, I'm going to sell a crap product. And if they are, don't hang out with those people, by the way. If you know anybody who's just like, I'm selling garbage, I'm cool with selling garbage, I love selling garbage, stop hanging out with those people unless they're like Trash Emitter and they're selling the removal of garbage, which I'm okay with BFI and those companies that are cleaning up the cities. But if somebody's just selling a terrible product, why are you hanging out with them? Right? That can rub off on you. Only hang out with people who do things morally, ethically, and legally, and hang out with people who talk about money. Hang out with people who want to see your money go up, who want to see you do well, who want to see you earn. Now, you understand the importance of money for improving your product. What is the importance of having a great product? Is you got to sell something. We're in sales. I can't sell something that isn't a beautiful product. So we started working with the mentorship years ago. We started selling the mentorship training program. Hands to the camera if you've been through the mentorship, if you've been through a training product that we've produced on some level. Hands to the camera if you've been to other people's training products, you've been to other courses, other programs. Yeah, and there was a difference, right? There's a difference between what we do because you see us constantly improving. I'm saying that. So hands to the camera if that's been true. Have you noticed the difference from other people's programs? This is just my personal assessment. I'm very biased. And the difference is that every single month, every single week, I jump on a call with the coaches and we're always asking, how can we improve? What can we tweak? What can we do better? Where is the community at? What are their challenges? What are they facing? And what can we add? Who can we bring in? What topic can we talk about? And an example of improvement would be the way the mentorship was previously was 8 weeks. It was 8 weeks. It was a jumpstart call. You jumped in. And in the beginning, you got to have a conversation with a coach. And then we start adding, you can have one conversation with each coach. And then we start adding and saying, you have one conversation with each coach. We're going to add all these online training components. And you actually get to have access. The first year was access to the 100 Millionaire Summit for free. That was how we structured it and set it up. Then we had to improve upon that. So we extended the program to a year, but we increased the price. We extended it. We went from $1,000 to $2,000, increased the price. That year extension, everybody on this call who's been in the mentorship, you see their cameras on right now. That's because they went through a program and they said, yeah, I want to keep going. I want to stay with you. 52 Weeks to Wealth is an addition to what we're already doing with the mentorship, something that we already did. Now, a lot of people were already getting it. But what we added was before the 52 Weeks to Wealth. And this, by the way, this is a secret. So anybody on Facebook right now, you may or may not know about this, but the mentorship community does. We show up 20 minutes early, asking questions, sharing wins, talking about successes, like talking to the coaches, just hanging out with the coaches as an added value to everybody in the community, just to make sure that if somebody had a question, they can come and ask that question to a bunch of millionaires. Hands to the camera if you can see how this product has continued to improve. It keeps getting better and better. Well, we've got another one that just came out. It's something that we've talked about before, Get the Money. But Get the Money in the past was just me on stage saying, this is how you get the money. This is how you this is how you raise private capital. This is how you do commercial loans, how you do residential loans, how you do seller financing, creative financing. And it was just me saying, blah, 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 blah. This is how you do it. We said, how do we improve? How do we get to the next level? First, I thought, why don't I bring in somebody who's raised $1 million? Why don't I bring in somebody who's raised, not just $1 million. I've raised $1 million. I've raised $3 million. But why don't we bring somebody in who's raised over $100 million? I bring somebody in who's done it on a big scale, because the biggest problem with most investors, they don't believe it's possible for them. They don't believe it's possible. So let's solve that by bringing in somebody who's done something so big that the $1 million seems small now. Hands to the camera, $1 million seems small next to $100 million. It seems significantly smaller. So that 100,000 you need for your first deal seems even smaller compared to that 100 million that somebody else has gone out and raised. So surprise, today at 12 o'clock, we're doing Get the Money. We're going to do it for about 3 hours. And at Get the Money, I've got Vinny Chopra coming in, and Vinny will be talking about, he'll be sharing how he raised $9 million in 9 days. Answer the camera if you could use those skills. If $9 million in 9 days is something you'd like to have. So Vinny's going to be talking about how he did that, what he set up in order to make sure that if he needed money, because when he started texting me how he was doing, it was $7 million in 7 days. And then the next day he texted me, said, sorry, Walter, it's $8 million in 8 days. And then he texted me the next day and he said, oh, Walter, sorry, no, it's $9 million in 9 days. Just let everybody know now it's $9 million in 9 days. Hands to the camera if that's cool. That he texted me too soon. So that's a form of improving a product that was already great. Every year we do Get the Money to teach our community how to raise capital, how to invest, how to make sure that the money is never the objection. Oh, I can't invest because I don't have the money. We don't want to hear that. All right, like it's fine if you believe that and you don't want to be successful, but if you want to be successful, you can't believe that money is the challenge. You have to believe money is abundant. You have to know how to get the money to do a deal. And so money cannot be the objection. So at Get the Money, we're going to talk about how to raise all that private capital, how to get the money to do any deal or any business that you're interested in, how to raise that capital. But to improve it, I decided to take it to the next level. I committed, and Vinny said the same thing, because he and I were on a call Thursday, our abundance call. And Vinny said the same thing as me. He said, we're going to make sure that we stay on and answer every single question about raising capital. This way, everybody at the end of the call has a path to raise capital. This means that by the end of the call, there is impossible for there to be a single person sitting in the room who says, I don't have the money anymore. Hence the camera, if that's a powerful addition to a program that was already a powerful program. Wait till you hear the price. Most of you already know it's $97. Who knows? It's absolutely ridiculous. $97 is a ridiculous price to learn how to raise. Even if all I taught you was how to raise $97, would that be valuable? If I showed you how to make an extra 100, raise $100 to pay for the course, would that be valuable? What about if I've taught you how to raise 100,000 or $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million? Or in Vinny's case, he's going to show us how he raised $100 million. He's going to show us how he raised $9 million in 9 days. That's cool. What I just shared with you, what I just did was called positioning a product. I positioned a very valuable product that I continuously improved. I told you a story of that improvement, how it came to be, how we improved every step of the way. And we're going to now test a new product with the community with this next level of ask us any question. Literally ask us any question on your capital raising scenario so that you no longer have the money objection as the issue. Hence, Karen, if you could do this in your business, if you know you could do this in your business, if you just watch me reposition an old existing product and make it a new product, and people who've paid for Get the Money in the past will pay for Get the Money today because they have a new bonus, a new benefit, a new value add that's going to increase their likelihood of getting to that next level. Hence the camera, if you know that's true, if you know that that's how it works. You don't have to change your product, but you do have to improve your product. You do have to constantly improve your product. And the only way you're going to improve your product is by asking people who've used your product in the past, how do I make it better? What would you have liked to see? What do you think would have made this an easier program for you to go through in our case? Or what do you think would have made this a better renovation in your house or in this apartment? What do you think would have gotten me more money on the market? Ask your realtors right after you do a renovation. What do you think would have gotten me more money? What do you think I could have done to improve? Unless, and the only time this doesn't work is if you're going out of business. I see those furniture stores that are like always going out of business. I don't know what that is, but you don't want to always perpetually be going out of business. You want to, if you're going out of business, it's because you're selling the business, right? Wealth principle 34, we're not 33. Build your business to sell your business to get rich. We're not building our businesses to go out of style. We want to build our businesses to the point where we can sell them because they're so valuable that we can sell them for 3, 5, 10, 15 times what they earn in a year. And one of the reasons you'll see Ron and I talking a lot about the tech side of our business is because tech companies are valued at 15 to 25 times what they earn in a year. Restaurants, you'll never see Ron and I get involved in a restaurant business because restaurants are valued at 2.5 times what they earn in a year. Great cash flow businesses. And if you're already in them, like Melanie's in the Subway business, it makes a lot of sense for Melanie because she earns the cash flow. But for Ron and I to get into it, too many barriers to entry, unless we had Melanie as a partner, in which case, Melanie, we're still open to that. Partner up on a cash flowing Subway series. But for us, it'd have to be more than one Subway. I told Mel a long time ago, I'd buy 10. You know, if it was 10 Subways all put together, that's a big cash flow machine. I would love that because the cash flow, it would be extreme. Yes, and I would get it at a steep discount. I'd only be paying 2.5 times what it's going to make. So I'd make that money back within the first 3 years. Does that make sense? So like for acquisition, there's a reason to buy a cash flow machine for cash flow. For your business, there's a reason to build and acquire and build and scale up tech companies that have infrastructure like real estate. Real estate is a great business because its assets continue to go up over time. The asset itself continues to go up, but the rents continue to go up as well. And again, if you've seen this in real estate, prices go up and to the right over time. We got markets where sometimes they go down for a little bit, but it always comes back. Every week we talk about an exercise that you can implement. This week, I want you to look deep at your business. I want you to look deep at your business. I want you to write this down. My business is, and write down what your business is. And for some of you, you got 2, 3, 4 businesses. No, you don't. You have one business. There's one that brings in all the money, and the other ones are your distractions. So you can just look at the other ones as your cute little distractions. There's one that's slamming in money. It might be a new one or it might be an old one, but it's been slamming in money. It's the fire hose. That's your business. I know what you're thinking. Some of you have investments that you never considered. Like, wow, that brings in more money. Hence the camera, if you're looking at something right now in your head and you're like, that brings in more money than I thought it did. Or I never put that kind of valuation on it. Or it's a new investment or it's an old investment. Yeah. That is your business. Look at that. Because you want more of it. You want more of that. And you look at that business, and I want you to reach out to the people involved. Ask them how it can be improved. Ask them what you would pay more for. Like, what could I do to improve this? Whether it's our relationship, whether it's the product itself, whether it's the speed with which we do something, whether it's the quality with which we do something, maybe it's just the perception, the feeling with which something is done. What is it about your product? This is what you're seeking. What is it that could be improved? What could be made better? Notice the lighting here, right? I've adjusted my lighting. I've adjusted my background. I've made little improvements to the sound, with the speaker that we use, the video camera that I use, little tweaks so it's more enjoyable to spend time with me. Hence the camera if you're having fun right now, you're enjoying this conversation we're having. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you. And I appreciate it as well. What else could be improved in that business, that big stream of income, that one that's just so easy for you? It's flowing money in. Ask the people directly related. Ask your clients. If you have direct clients, ask them. For a landlord, you may go to your tenants and say, hey, what would you pay more rent for? Don't be afraid to ask that question with that exact context. What if I made an improvement in this building or in your customer service, in your experience somehow, would you pay more rent for? Some may pay for a pet in the house. Some may pay to have their carpets redone. Some may pay to have new light bulbs installed or new fixtures installed, or have the utilities split from somebody else. There's a lot of different components that are happening in your business and your building that somebody would pay for if you just knew about it. Or maybe you've got a beat up hallway, and I'm going on real estate right now because we have situations like this. You got a beat up hallway that just needs paint, carpets, and new lighting. Would the tenants pay an extra $100 each for that? The answer is probably yes. Ask me how I know. All of our tenants have this year. We went through and we're doing our hallways to make them a better experience for everybody. So what can you do? Ask the question, write down, what can I do to increase the quality or improve the quality of my product, to increase the cash flow? We're focused on increasing the money this week. Yes, I know each one of you is always improving your products. I know you. Right? I've hung out with you. We've been talking together on Alchemist Nation, or we've been at live events. We've done the 100 Millionaire Summit together. We've done Mission to Millions together. We've done Mastery together. Like, we spend a lot of time. You've messaged me. I've messaged you. We've liked each other's comments. I know you're always improving your product. And I know in many cases, you are your product. All right. In many cases, you are what you're selling. You are what you're delivering to your clients, right? Realtors, service professionals, you are the product. So you're constantly improving yourselves. That's what we're doing right here. We're improving ourselves. We're becoming better. We're becoming more valuable human beings. That's what alchemy is all about, right? Transforming ourselves into a higher state so we can transform others into a higher state and give them bliss and abundance, taking them out of pain, sorrow, sufferings, and moving them into bliss, joy, abundance, giving them that experience from being with you, from just, touching you, alchemy, the Midas touch, right? Each one of you has that gift to give somebody a smile. And you've seen what happens when you give somebody a smile, that smile comes back, right? And if it doesn't, we don't hang out with that person anymore. Because if you can't give back a smile, like, whoa, like what's going on? But you've seen this magic in your own life. What can you take into your business to improve your product? Sometimes it is just positioning. Sometimes it is just perception. But sometimes it's something fundamental, like the real estate business. Ron and I have been working very hard with Mark, our partner, on creating a CRM that adds value to everybody. A CRM, for anybody who doesn't know, is a customer relationship management software. This makes your best relationship scalable. Like, everybody in our community gets a text from me. That's a personalized text from me that is scaled, so I'm not having to send it out. But it's scaled up so it goes out to 1,000 people. And the people who receive it now know that I contacted them. Imagine if you, and this, just think about this. Imagine if in your business every Friday you sent a text to somebody saying, hey, how are you doing? By the way, I haven't sent this text out. So like, just so you know, this is one you can use in your business. Every Friday, send out a text saying, how are you doing? Just checking in. How many responses back do you think you'd get? It'd probably be an 80% response rate. Ask Karen if that's true. Maybe it'd be higher, some of you, right? Especially the people you haven't talked to in a while. They're gonna be like, what is going on? Shit, Kim Rodriguez texting me right now. I'm doing awesome, or things are rough. Like, tell me about it. Let's talk. Spending that little extra time with a community that you're building for yourself. By the way, I'm imploring each one of you to take on this challenge. Find 100 people you care about enough to invite to the 100 Millionaire Summit or invite to this call. I invited all of my friends. You're all here. Right? I've invited a lot more friends that didn't make it, but I invited all the people I care about and said, hey, come here. If you don't get something from it, cool. But if you do get one thing from it, come back, share it with somebody else. Let's keep growing. Let's keep expanding what we're doing. You have the ability to spread some light to your people. And you don't have to share you don't have to get them on a call, but maybe just share something you learned from the call. How powerful would it be if you just shared something and said, hey, look, I don't know if I'm selling the best product. Can you verify it with me? You'd get a deeper relationship with that person right now, instantly, because now you're trusting them with your business. You're showing them trust. Trust begets trust. So they're going to trust you with something else. Hence, Karen, if you're catching this. These are not tricks, my friends. These are truths. These are things that we forget. These are like simple little human connections that we forget. It's not manipulation of any kind. This is literally just being a decent human being and saying, I care about you. And as you scale it up, you're caring about more people. You do need systems, right? We're imperfect. We're not capable of doing these things without systems. And so Alchemist Leads, which we're probably doing a rebrand, probably calling it Alchemist Connect very soon, because that's really what it does. It does connect people with the people they want to spend more time with, whether you're leveling your up. We're going to talk about a lot, leveling up the people you're hanging out with and get the money. That is today at 12 o'clock. Darina or Feli, do you mind dropping the link to get the money if somebody's interested? Hence, if you're interested in the link to get the money, if you want to know how to raise all the private capital, build those relationships, very cool. So Feli just dropped in the chat. That is today at 12 p.m. So you have a little bit of time to break. And then we're going to be back here in a different Zoom room. Won't be the same room. So you do have to go through, get the money. Tell me you don't like my hair. Tell me you don't like that I got all these powerful wristbands. Tell me that you don't like my beard, but don't tell me you don't got $97 to learn how to raise $1 million capital. Michael Shine. It's a special time of the Saturday. It's a special time of the day. Michael Shine is our holistic attorney. He is our keeper of the books. He is the closer. And this week, Mike, would you grace us with your rendition, your summary of the book of the week? Let's give Mike a round of applause.
Thank you, Walter. Nice to see everybody. Book of the week is this book. I don't know if you can see it, but it is Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. Thank you, Faley. That's awesome. She always puts it in now. That's an awesome feature. So as you all know, if you know anything about Grant Cardone, he's right in your face. And this is an awesome book because it starts off by telling you that we're all selling something. You know, we all, whether we're in a relationship, whether we have a business, even with our kids, if we have kids. And then he goes on and in your face tells you exactly how to be a great salesperson and wipes away all those old fears that a lot of people have that you're like a used car salesperson. Sorry if there's any used car salespeople on the call, but you know, he tells you that selling is actually the most important thing in the world. And if it's just a great book, just what Walter was talking about, you're trying to improve your business, you're trying to raise your ROI, all that good stuff. It all starts with selling. And this book goes through it in a simple, in your face, direct way. I highly recommend this book. I always highly recommend all 52. That's why we picked them. But again, this is a great book, especially if you feel you're not a salesperson. You know, I didn't go to law school to be a salesperson, but you quickly realize that you got to go, you know, sell or be sold, as Grant says. So yeah, so it's a great book and I highly recommend it. So Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. Thank you.
Give Michael Shine a round of applause. He is the keeper of the books, the holistic attorney, the closer. And I agree with you, Mike. I didn't go to real estate school to be a salesperson. I really thought I was going to real estate school to show houses just like they showed me on HGTV. I thought I was going to be out there slinging the contracts. Yeah, sure. Let's buy this one. You like it? And that was not what it turned out to be. It was like nobody knew me. Nobody wanted to work with me. And I had to go become a marketer. I had to go become a salesperson. And by the way, I was an accountant. I was not good at selling myself on anything. I had low self-esteem. So forget selling other people. I had to sell me on the fact that I could be a salesperson. And then I had to sell me on the fact that I knew what I was doing in real estate. When I'd only ever bought 1, 2, 3 houses, I still didn't believe in myself. I owned 3 pieces of real estate. I still don't believe that I could be a great salesperson. I had to face all of those objections, and Grant Cardone's book, Sell or Be Sold, got me out of it. It started me thinking and realizing like, oh my God, like everything is sales. You know, why did my wife leave me? It's because I didn't sell her on staying. Or maybe it's because I sold her on leaving. I got, I look back at the subconscious mind back then. Maybe that was the reason I was selling myself on a wholly different lifestyle, and she wasn't sold on. I didn't know how to sell her. Right. When it came to Dorina, I sold Dorina on this. I sold Dorina on 100 Millionaires. I sold Dorina on this community. I said, Alchemist Nation, we're going to the top. We're going to change the world. We're going to make the world a better place. Alchemy, we're spreading it everywhere. Each one of you, every week, I use the tens of thousands of dollars in tens of thousands of, well, maybe not tens of thousands. Yeah, I'll say it. 10,000 hours at least that I've spent in sales to sell you on one thing: how you can become a millionaire. And then once you're a millionaire, how you can level somebody else up. All right. 100 millionaires inspire to build 100 millionaires. I have spent years practicing the sales skills necessary to help somebody believe in themselves, help somebody achieve that next level. But the hardest part is not selling a product. Selling coaching is easy. Selling info technology is easy. Selling somebody on themselves, that it's possible for them to get to that next level that they're looking to accomplish, is the hardest work on the planet. But I know Mike's like, that's a terrible affirmation, but it is also the most rewarding work on the planet. When you really do get somebody to believe that what you're telling them is possible, that they could buy a piece of real estate, they could be a landlord or a landlady, that they could be collecting passive income, that they could one day be owning rooming houses or laundromats or online businesses, or SaaS, selling software as a service, that these things are possible, then suddenly they do it. Like all it takes is the belief. Like once somebody has that belief, instantaneously things take action. Like Annie's a perfect example. Annie was like, well, I don't know if I can own real estate. But once she came through the program, we were like, yeah, maybe you could, maybe you should do it now. Bought a house, 3-family, boom, locked it down. Within months, in days of her believing. That was the secret, because it wasn't like she'd been in real estate for a while, been thinking about it, doing it, but it was within days of her believing it was possible, really start putting in those offers, really like just said, yes, I'm going to close on this thing. And the believing doesn't stay, by the way, every day. Believing is like a muscle. You got to reactivate that thing. You got to work it out, right? Annie, before you close, like every day you're like, can I still do this? Should I still do this? Is this possible? Even our millionaires, our multimillionaires who close on things all the time, occasionally are like, should I close on this? Is this the one? Right? We have a couple of our millionaires who partnered together on a deal this week, closed yesterday, the day before. And I guarantee you at multiple points, they're like, should I close on this? Right? This is a no-brainer money-wise, but should I close on it? The belief is something that continuously has to be worked on. That's what we do at 52 Weeks to Wealth, is constantly to share some of the wins, some of the principles, some of the strategies, so that you continue to believe that it's possible for you and stay in the fact that it's worth it. Because a lot of times, hands to camera, millionaires only. Hands to camera, if you've ever felt like, man, it's annoying. Sometimes you don't want to do the things that it takes to become successful. All in millionaires, where you at? Yeah, sometimes you don't want to do it, right? Let's give our millionaires a round of applause. Thank God they do, because now it makes it possible for us. Like anybody who hasn't made that million, I know for me, before I'd become successful, I was looking at the guys and the gals who'd done it already, saying, well, if they could do it, I could do it. Right? Like, thank God I'm bald. For anybody who has lost their hair or anybody who's got gaps in their teeth, thank God I have those flaws, because prior to, me meeting the guy who was shorter than me, balder than me, like, had messed up teeth. Like, I didn't know it was possible for somebody not to be successful unless you look perfect. I really thought that sales was based on being, the Mitch Jorsky, being 6 feet tall, shaped like a Greek god, having the perfect beard and everything. And like, it wasn't until I met somebody who was like totally unexceptional physically, who became successful, I was like, wait, maybe I could. Why not? And it wasn't until I hung out in the gym and started working out with these really buff guys that I was like, how'd you get there? And then they said, well, show up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I showed up and they started showing me the process. And until one of them said, you can do it too. You can look just like this. I was scrawnier than you when I started. That was the game changer for me. When my mentor said, this is one of my investors, man, that word hit me so hard because I'd never been called an investor before. I'd thought one day I wanted to be one. I've read about investors, but when my mentor called me an investor in front of somebody else, it just like hit me that, oh my God, like I'm an investor. He thinks I'm an investor. That means maybe I am. I called him out. I was like, hey man, I've never bought before. And he said, well, you're buying right now, aren't you? And that's when it hit me. I am an investor. And that was what gave me the belief that I could close. It was him calling me an investor. It was him saying, you do this. This is what you do. You're an investor. We buy real estate. I wasn't an investor before I bought real estate. How'd I buy the real estate? How do I evaluate the deal? How do I get the money? How do I like go and put an offer in? I must have been investing prior to receiving the investment. This making sense. We're catching this. Share that with somebody. Why not? Reach out to somebody today and share with them that if they've been evaluating things, maybe jump on a call with them. Like go out of your way, jump on a call with somebody. I'm on call with you right now, so it wouldn't take much for you to jump on a call with somebody and say, what are your goals in investing? Ask them, and then find out what their goals are, and ask them when they're going to submit an offer. Ask them that powerful question: when are you going to submit an offer? When are you going to go put a deal together? Or if you're starting your business, when are you going to start that business? Maybe you start it with me. Why not? Why don't we partner together on this? And then ask them that one powerful question: did you know that you're an investor, or did you know that you're an entrepreneur? Because you started this business, because you've got it going. And if money is the issue, if money is the thing stopping you, get the deal today, get the money today. That's at 12 p.m. We're going to get that going. Again, the link is in the chat. This life is too much fun not to play at your highest. This life is too many options not to see what you're capable of. We take on challenges not because of the money anymore. We take on challenges simply to see what's possible. Hands the camera if you'd like to see what's possible for you. If there's a lot more than what you got right now. There's a lot more you're capable of. Hell yeah. Give yourselves a round of applause. Every Saturday, 52 Weeks to Wealth, we show up, we learn, we take actions. There's no point in being here if you're not going to go take actions, right? So this week, I want you to go take action on contacting somebody and finding out what is it that you could improve on your product. And now finding out is not enough. Remember, this is a two-step wealth principle. You've got to go and implement it. You've got to go and implement whatever that changes, whatever that improvement into your business is. We've been working very diligently on improving our products. I think there's one thing that you could do in your business right now and improve it. And the only way to find out is going to be to ask and reach out to people. So let's implement that. Next week's Wealth Principle 19, be here early, especially if you're in the mentorship, when to show up. And if you're not in the mentorship, you might want to have a call with one of our specialists. Amy McNamara is on the call. Derek Neal is on the call. Set up book a Calendly link with them. Find out about the mentorship. Hands to the camera if you'd be willing to give somebody a good testimonial if they were interested in jumping into this program. That's what we do here. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. I appreciate you guys. If we've treated you well, if we've done well so far, you're doubling your income, doubling your net worth, then we've done our job. Wealth Principle 19, be a world-class expert in your business. You're going to need, by the way, you need Wealth Principle 18 implemented in order to get to Wealth Principle 19. We're getting that. We see how these kind of work together. You need to implement it this week. I don't want to use the word need. You are going to, as soon as we hang up on this call, you're going to implement how this can be done. Text your team, put it into use, start committing to it, change your copy, whatever you have to do in your newsletters, but implement it. Because next week, we're going to kick some serious butt. I'm making you the world-class expert in your business. This is a positioning conversation next week. Wealth Principle 19 is very powerful, and it is useless for that Wealth Principle 18. Let's give yourselves a round of applause for showing up, for being here. And at this point, I want to open it up to questions. Questions for anybody. Darina, Darina, Ron, we can bring everybody in. Felly, you can bring everybody who's sitting out in the waiting room, bring them into the main room. This question and answer section is for everybody. Obviously, mentorship students, you throw your hand up. We're gonna work with you guys first. So let's open it up. First to unmute the mic wins, and let's see what the biggest takeaway is from today, or questions, clarification on how you can improve your product. I think that'd be a lot of fun. First to unmute wins. While we work on bringing everybody into the main room. Go ahead.
Can I go?
Of course.
So one of my biggest takeaways was when you were talking about, well, all of it, but when you were talking specifically about the deal that closed this week, and you said that these experienced investors who I know and who I think are strong, decisive, and they know what they're doing, it surprised me that they questioned themselves. And I was like, they did? Because I do it all the time, but I'm like, I didn't think they did. So I thought that was huge. So no matter what level you're at, we do have those thoughts to come in. So don't be afraid, right? Move past it. So thank you for sharing that, because I was like, wow, I didn't think that.
And for anybody who doesn't know Kim Rodriguez, she is an extremely successful real estate investor. So she's admitting the same exact thing that everybody who raised their hands was admitting. Like, she's got 7 kids. She's been married to the same man for a very long time, and they built a powerful business together. She's a vice president of her company, a Fortune 500 powerful company, powerful woman, and they crush over 100 units. And they're still buying real estate. They're partnering with other people. So if she's still getting scared in deals, like, don't worry, being scared is not special. It doesn't make you different. Go ahead, Kim.
No, that's good. I think I just did it by, and I was thinking, like, Mike and Mel and all them guys too, they have those same feelings. And I didn't think they did, because I see them, as elevated. So it's good to kind of see that we're all in it together, right? We all have those fears. And when you're there, it's the difference is pushing past them, right? Pushing past them and moving forward rather than staying stuck in them. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Oh yeah. Let's give all of our millionaires and multimillionaires a round of applause. Thank you, Kim. I love it when that's why we bring the millionaires together, right? Like, that's why our millionaires show up. That's why Ryan McDermott is here. Mitch Jaworski's here. Melanie Santos, Michael Shine, Darina, Ron, Kim, who else is? If your camera's off, guys, and I'm counting out millionaires, it's your fault. I know Roger's on here. Roger Andrews is here. Luba's close, very close, coming up. I see you, girl. And that's why the millionaires show up, is because not just are we giving back, but it also reminds us that other millionaires are going through the same struggles, the same challenges. We're a team in this. Like, if I'm having a down day, which I like to say I never have one of those, but Mike and Mitch, they know about them. They'll catch me and they're like, oh, hey, positive twist here, and vice versa. So let's see what Thurbin has. I see your hand up, brother. Go ahead. Unmute the mic.
Hey, thanks for having me again. So this one's kind of not geared towards me, but just, I think this is a good general question. So let's say you have a product that's, like, I guess, in development, and you're just kind of curious as to when to put it out there to get that feedback.
Oh, that's powerful. So this, in Thurbin, even without knowing your product, I can tell you this before I know what it is. Get it out there in visual format, whether it's a picture or it's a brochure or it's a landing page, before you build or create it, and get the feedback on the price, get the feedback on the options, on the features, on the colors, on the way it's presented. Because if you can't sell it before you build and create it, you shouldn't build or create it. Does that make sense? And to go a step further, if it was a book, we pre-sell our books before we write our books, because it's the cover page, it's the cover of the book and the description of the book that sells it. Nobody's read the inside. So it's not the inside that sells the book. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. That's interesting.
Video games, right? Xbox, they pre-sell the Xbox before the Xbox is out. telling you the features, telling you all the different things that it's going to have. And you may see the change in colors of the Xbox before the Xbox is actually released. But they've tested it.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Yeah. It's funny you say that. It's funny you said the book because that's what I'm doing.
Irvin, if you want to jump on a call with me and Jen, we do a ghostwriting service. So if you want to talk about even the process, we'll just go through a quick little process of how we write our books. You don't have to work with our service, but at least let us help you with kind of the structure and maybe some of the marketing piece. And we'll do that. That's a free consultation. That
Sure.
and ready, Thurman, this is positioning. Totally worth $1,000, that conversation.
Thank you, Walter.
You're welcome, brother.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Yolanda.
Should I wait to pay off consumer debt before I move forward to purchasing some type of property and trying to move forward with my goals?
Oh, Yolanda, that's a really great question. Well, Dave Ramsey would tell you got to do the debt snowball. You got to pay everything off before you can go and invest in anything. But Uncle G would say, Grant Cardone would tell you, why don't you just go make more money? Right, make more money and pay down the consumer debt instead of waiting 2 years, 3 years to pay it off. What if, if your consumer debt is at bay, you can hold it at bay. And by the way, you're talking to somebody who's literally done this. I had $150,000 in credit card debt. I still went and bought a piece of real estate. And I used that piece of real estate to pay off the credit card debt.
But how did you get the money to put down payment if you're not doing good in your numbers on your credit score?
Girl, I love that question. That's what Get the Money is all about. I'm going to go into deep detail on how you can buy houses with no credit, how you can leverage millions of dollars of real estate dollars to buy real estate without having credit or having a job or being a 1099, like a contractor, or having no income streams. We're going to talk all about that and Get the Money today. Will you be able to join us at 12?
I won't be able today. Is there another time frame? Only because my stepdaughter's birthday's today and I have to take her out. She turns 20.
Family
Both the
first.
kids, so sorry. Yes.
In that
but
case,
I was on all the other, webinars, and I am related to Julie, so I'm sure she'll be guiding me in the right way. And we want to make sure that we're getting up there, being that millionaire, being a part of your group. So definitely want to move forward and very eager and ambitious, but I just can't today.
So Yolanda, in that case, I've already pre-recorded. And this is why I don't like selling pre-recorded trainings, because I say, hey, go take the pre-recorded training. Here's $1,000, whatever. People will click on it and then not watch the videos. So that's why I don't even charge for my pre-recording trainings. But if you want to go to watch either Names on Deeds, which teaches how to raise private capital, or Get the Money, actually go to Buy Real Estate and Cash Flow and Get Rich. I think we've already moved Get the Money into that training. And that training has over 100 lessons on how to raise capital, on how to find deals. And if you babysit yourself and go through it, you will get the knowledge that you're asking for. Okay. The reason we do live calls or workshops is because you can ask me questions and I will be able to deliver on those answers. But go through the training. It's free. It's on alchemistnation.com. Go to alchemistnation.com and click on the course, Buy Real Estate to Cash Flow and Get Rich. And just go down to the part that says Get the Money.
Okay. Thank you so much for your guidance. I'll definitely follow through.
Hell yeah. And if you got any questions, just send me or any of the millionaires a message on Alchemist Nation. We're all on there. You can message us anytime.
Awesome.
Awesome. Let's give Yolanda a round of applause. She just jumped right in. I love when people just jump right, just unmute the mic, ask a question. That's the money. Jennifer Sullivan, you're up. And then Luba, I saw your hand up afterwards. Go ahead.
Hi. Okay. So my main takeaway was having someone else believe in you, and how that's going to really skyrocket what you can do. But another thing that I wanted to note was that as far as giving quality service, there is a point, what I struggle with is getting it perfect, getting it exactly what I want it to be. You know what I mean? So actually something that I've told my writers recently is to settle for excellence and don't worry about perfection. And they seem to have really, really, really taken to that. So I just want to tell everybody out there, settle for excellence. Don't worry about perfection.
Settle for excellence. I love that. We embrace that in business. We don't put in perfect offers. We put in offers. And we put in fast offers. right? Like I know a lot of people in our community, when we first started talking to them, we're like, oh, I'm putting an offer within 24 hours, within 36 hours. And Ron and I, we get a deal. It's in front of us 15 minutes in and out. The offer's out there. We may have to renegotiate that offer later. We may have to make adjustments on that number later, or the number could be right. Or it could be very close. But if it's not submitted, there's no deal happening. You're 100% right. Good and done is way better than perfect and never finished. Perfect and never finished does not lead to customer satisfaction, right? The client wants the book, like in the ghostwriting services, right? And in Reba's situation, the client wants the book. Like that's what they want. This thing produced. They want this in their hands so they can put it in their client's hands, right? Imagine if Names on Deeds was never finished. People wouldn't be able to use this workbook to build their capital, build their businesses. Because it's produced and it's out, it may not be perfect. There may be some spelling errors in there, but I've already gotten those text messages, by the way. Thank you. We are going to fix them in revision number 2. But like that book is out working. People are using it. Let's make it sense. We're getting this. Like Jen, 100%. Let's give Jen Sullivan a round of applause. Jen's pen, if you know somebody who's looking to write a book, we love referrals. We do. We appreciate the biggest compliment is a referral. Luba, I see your hands up. And Luba is coming from Austin, Texas.
Oh, that's where I live now. Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I just wanted to share about the topic of getting the feedback. And I wanted to bring an example. I'm running Airbnb now. And one of the things I looked on YouTube is to put an automated message after your guests stay to get a feedback from them. And it took me forever to set up that message. And partly because, laziness, but partly because I realized that there is a resistance to like getting a feedback about the product, because I already put this product, like, I think it's good enough. Like, why would I even like do anything about it? Like, so I think it's also like a powerful thing to realize that, because part of your ego is involved in that process, because you've put so much effort, you thought about it, you created it in your head, like you did all of those things, and you're like, why wouldn't somebody like that? So you kind of have to like remove your personal vision, and you have to be able to accept that other people can see the product like in a different way, and you have to be able to receive their vision, or like at least be ready first to receive their vision, not as a criticism, but as a way to improve whatever you're delivering.
I like that. Luba, you're right. There's a lot of ego involved in our products. Hands to the camera if you can relate to Luba. There's some ego involved in our products. We don't always want the feedback. We're a little concerned of what somebody might say about what we're delivering. Let's give Luba a round of applause. That's very valuable. It's very valuable and very important to ask for feedback. I know for us, even on some of our events, we've made the conscious decision to go and send a survey out to our community and say, hey, can you let us know how that event was? And I've said that. I've said, okay, send the survey out, and the survey never went out. Sometimes these things get dropped and not followed up on because they weren't that important, right? Like it's one thing to have that, okay, I know it's a good idea, like Lou was saying, but then to go out and actually implement it, what's stopping you from going out and like just saying, hey, can you give us some feedback? Dorina, which reminds me, can you send out a survey, have one of our team build a survey for feedback on the 52 weeks to wealth? I'd like to get feedback on how it's been operating and just send it out to everybody who's joined over the last 3 years and see what the comparison is. And now that everybody's hearing me say that, I know it's going down. So let's give Dorina a round of applause. Probably let's give Felly a round of applause too, because I have a feeling Felly's doing that. So thank you, Felly. Jasmine, go ahead. I see your hand up.
Hi, thank you. So I just wanted to kind of ask a little bit, dig a little deeper into something you mentioned about the numbers don't have to be perfect. my husband and I work together. Interestingly, a lot of what you said, he always counsels me on. And I'm not quite a perfectionist, but I just like to be thorough and correct because I want to be confident in what I deliver and be able to stand behind it and with it. So with that being said, we haven't closed on anything. We've been in business for a year and we've had a lot of deals. We've had a lot of contracts. And just recently, we just have not been making the connections. And there's been times when I've sent out deals to buyers and our buyers list, letting them know what we have that fit the criteria that I understand, but they're like, no, that, you know, it's not a strong enough deal. The return's not good enough. So my question is, well, if I'm sending out numbers, but then I'm not getting good feedback, I guess this is tying into the lesson for today, but I'm just really confused and stumped. Like, I feel really lost.
Well, so we got a lot of investors on the call. Mike just walked away, but Mitch, like, I'll have Mitch answer this because he's, for the longest time, he was a security cat guide to real estate investing, and he was teaching people how to calculate deals before he became the Bitcoin king. But Jasmine, my quick answer is I would reach out to every one of your cash buyers and ask them what they buy. What is their criteria? For me, like, my first step when working with a client is, what are you looking for? I literally just created a product last week or the week before, and I sold it to Melanie Santos and Greg LeBlanc, and I was like, guys, like, what do you want? I'll go get it. Right? That was the fucking product. Like, what do you want? I'll go get it. And like, that's what I sold them. So like, finding out what your buyers want means you target market those things. You put in those types of offers, you buy those types of properties, lock those contracts down the way they'd want it. And now you can actually deliver. But if you don't know what they want, like, you're just taking a guess. You know, it's like, well, I found a deal. Is it a deal? Is there a buyer for this deal, or is this just a piece of property?
Well, I recently sent out a job form, not to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I recently sent out a job form and a follow-up, and I haven't received anything. So it's literally, we're back at ground zero. So it's like, now I need buyers. I have to build my buyers list because I don't have buyers.
Customer service, Jasmine.
This
is going to the next level. Like, job forms are really good for volume, like a lot of people. Like, in this community, I have 1,060 people I gotta send a job form out to, because it makes sense, because there's 1,000 of us. Like, I want to get a very specific answer from everybody. But like, Melanie was a one-on-one call to find out what Melanie wanted, right? Like, that was, let's have a call. And if I was sitting with any one of my high level clients, I would be saying, what do you want one-on-one? And I'd be really listening. So like, I would never send Melanie a job form to say, you know what, well, okay, I did, but okay. But that's because there's already a deep relationship, right? There's already a deep relationship. Like,
I get it.
You know, she knows, she wants to help me help her, right? Whereas with these cash buyers, like, they don't know you from a hole in the wall. You're just another wholesaler who's just looking to, you know, waste their time with a job form of no less. Like, oh, this is terrible, right? Like, they don't know that you have their best interest at heart. So sometimes building that deep relationship and spending a little extra time with the people who really do run your business, you know, cash buyers really are like the lifeblood of a wholesaler's business. Now, you're not supposed to, I got to say this on record, it is completely illegal to work with buyers first, right? You cannot hunt for buyers and work with them exclusively. That's what you need your real estate license for. And if you do have a ton of deals and you're not making money, get your real estate license. That would change the game for you. But you do need to know what they want. So don't operate for them, but go out and pull them, find out what they're looking for, because guess what? They all kind of buy the same stuff. Go ahead, Mike. And then Mitch.
So, Walter's working on the exterior. I just want to tell you to work on your inside, like words like need buyers, things like that. It's every day I realize more and more that it's your inside, it's your mindset. And so I'm a real believer in writing down affirmations in the morning, writing them down at night, saying them in line at the bank, just constantly saying, I have plenty of buyers. Buyers are always coming to me. Buyers bump into me all the time. I am flooded with buyers, just constant things. And the universe will just start sending you buyers over and over again. I know it's kind of woo-woo and maybe some people, but I totally believe in this. And so if you get your inside right, the outside starts showing up. So that's what I recommend.
Give Mike
Mike,
Shannon a round
Thank
of
you, Mike. I
applause.
believe that. That was heartfelt. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much for
Mike,
that.
you and I are
back
money
Mike on that
magnets.
100%.
Money comes to us in
100%.
abundance.
Go ahead, Mitch.
I was trying to affirm Mike even further. You're interrupting the affirmations.
I wanted the affirmation. I wanted to affirm him.
I was going to drag you in, I promise. Sir, going back to what she was asking. So, excuse my New York type answers. You don't have any buyers based on what you just told me. If no buyers gave you criteria, you have no buyers, because I, as a buyer, the first thing I give a wholesaler is my criteria so they can send me shit that I'll actually buy, because my least favorite thing is what I had to filter out over the course of years is the email blasts I get from 85 million wholesalers down here in Florida that has nothing that I would consider buying. I specifically have done this. You know, there's the wholesaler call with Alchemist Nation. I've been on that call and said, hey, these are the towns I buy in. This is my buying criteria. If you want to find anything in that town, you know, get the numbers right and I'll buy it from you. And I'm pretty conservative too. Like my numbers aren't super aggressive. I make wholesalers' lives pretty easy. So I think that goes down to, you know, and if I guess it falls into the sell will be sold. I mean, you're selling buyers on essentially buying deals from you. So getting, you know, as many networking groups as you can. I mean, there's so many freaking Facebook groups, and, you know, again, go the wholesaler call Alchemist Nation, where you can go in there and basically, you know, let people know the area where you have properties, and generally, you know, ask for what their buying criteria is. And I mean, anyone that's ever posted anything on Facebook, it's comical now, whereas people go in these Facebook groups and they'll post like, oh, I have deals in XYZ town, and you'll just see comments, DM me, or they'll just drop their email, or it's like, so how many of those are serious buyers? Who knows? But that you got to filter them out, right? So
A lot of filtering. We bought into that.
yeah, you take 100 emails, and it's like 2 of them are probably actual buyers, right? So I'm sure you've been down the road. You just got to whittle it down. So, but yeah, get that buying criteria, because those are your serious buyers.
And, yeah, Kirk's on the call.
What's going on? So brilliant from both of you. What up, Mitch, Mike? So 100% the get on the call with them and just ask them, and they'll be so happy to tell you, because to Walter's point, that's the customer service. That's the improvement factor, where you take that time and then they go, oh, okay, they're taking the time. They're thinking of me. That raises your credibility factor like exponentially above all those people blasting the, you know, like, say, I got a list, blow that out, you know? So 100% build the relationships with the buyers and ask them, hey, what are you looking at? What are you looking for? What's ideal? What's the perfect property? And then actually that helps you, because now you know what to look for. Now you're like, oh, okay, seek and ye shall find. You can start seeking it out. And then to Mike's point, and really what this whole call is about, thank you, Walter, Doreen, and Ron, is the most important asset you and I have in our business is us. So that investment in ourselves, in our mindset, in that confidence, in that certainty, that's how we are able to walk into a situation when we may not know exactly what's going on, but know we can handle it, know that we'll figure it out, know that you have everything within you, everything within your grasp to accomplish whatever that outcome is. And it really, to Mike's point, it seems like woo-woo-y, but it really isn't. It actually works. Because if you think about anything you've succeeded at, you had some level of confidence and certainty, and you had a vision around it. So what Walter shared about, you know, like the selling the book first just by a cover, right? It also gives you that confidence, that certainty, and that additional leverage. So, you know, brilliant for all you guys. And that's all I have to say about that.
Give Doug McGurk, Mitch Jorsky, and Michael Shine a round of applause. Our millionaire coaches sharing some fire today. I want to go a step further and remind everybody, Get the Money is at 12 o'clock. If you're having a hard time finding a buyer's list, a cash buyer's list, teach them how to get the money. There's a lot of people who would love to buy real estate, but they're saying, oh, I don't have the money to invest right now. But if you showed them how to connect the money with the deal. Say you brought them the deal and you showed them how to finance it, they would close on that piece of real estate for you. Ask me how I know. I built a real estate company by teaching people how to invest. I was a real estate agent before I was, the real estate mentor. I was a real estate agent and I showed my investors how to get the money. I showed them how to do creative financing, how to finance these deals that other people would pass on. I was like, well, what if you finance it this way? Now it's a great deal, right? Because you can negotiate with the seller. You can negotiate seller financing, partial financing, subject to existing mortgages. You can negotiate a lot of these different strategies. That suddenly a bad deal, like it looks like you're overpaying, becomes a good deal because of the terms. Real estate investing is all about the terms. It's not about the price you pay on the property. It's how the property is structured, how the deal itself is structured. We're going to talk a lot about that at Get the Money. So if you're having a hard time building your buyers list, if you're having a hard time closing on deals, be it Get the Money today. Register now, take action now, buy now. You recognize it's the right thing to do. Buy now, buy the ticket. All that stuff. Say yes.
Yes.
So say yes to yourself. Get the money. Learn how to get the money. It's going to bring in all of the other things, all the other components to your business. If you can teach Get the Money, by the way, after taking Get the Money, you have my full permission to teach Get the Money. As long as one thing goes down, you always verify the people you are teaching, promise, commit, and swear to do their deals morally, ethically, and legally. Because when you're raising private capital, when you're raising money, when you're borrowing money from other people, somebody could get hurt if that money isn't paid back. Does that make sense? So we are teaching very important strategies that could have an impact on somebody else's financial life. So I do require that before I teach it, before you teach it to somebody, that they be moral, ethical, and do things legally. Kevin Pereira, I see. Dorena, can you drop the link, or Feli, can you drop the link for Get the Money? It's getthemoney.alchemistnation.com. Go ahead, Kevin.
So if you guys didn't know, I do run the wholesale call on Wednesdays. We're there every Wednesday from 6 to 7. Okay. What I did find, and we're all going to fall into that spot, right? But what I did find with wholesaling, when I came in, I said, I'm going to be the baddest wholesaler in the area for cash flowing multifamily real estate. So it was a challenge at first, right? We're trying to find those deals. Some want to buy for cash on cash. Some guys are buying for appreciation. So you can get caught up in some of that, that unsure world of analyzing and what these guys want, right? And then at the same time, we just spoke about, we got millionaires that are still indecisive. There really is no perfect property, to be honest with you, So, here we are. We all taking the right spot. We're all taking the right first step in involving ourselves with networks and communities like this. And leverage is huge. And I want to just continue to pour out, right? This is some Mike Shine coming out of me and talking to me, right? Like, just add with value, come in, just add with value first. I understand you might not get the 10, 20,000, right? We're not going to, guys, that $40,000, $50,000 assignment fee. Let's just take a step back and just be comfortable with connecting investors, connecting people, connecting opportunities, connecting abundance, connecting everything that you would, or that you didn't imagine that could even be possible. So that's where I'd like to be able to share my experiences with that opportunity again, right? Because 3 years ago, guys, I had no business to be in this room, or at least I thought I had no business to be in this room. But guess what? 2 years later, man, I'm about to take over this room. But anyway, so here we go, right? I know I posted a question, right? I'm not in that physical state yet. My mind is getting there. I'm taking the necessary steps. But man, does imposter syndrome really creep in?
Yeah, I saw your post on Alchemist Nation. I saw you dropped the post. I sent a little text out to the other coaches to say, hey, I gave my piece of it, but I'd like to see some of the other millionaires jump out there. And imposter syndrome is kind of a big deal. And Kevin, like, it's hurting your business, right? So I was talking to Vinny Chopra Thursday about it. He said, you got to fake it till you make it. Now that's a statement I really hate saying. You'll almost never hear me say it. Even when Vinny said it, I was like, whoa, what do you mean fake it till you make it? But I knew what he meant. He meant you've got to fake it to yourself. It's not fake it to the world, right? You got to be authentic to the world, be honest with the world. Like, look, I've never done a deal before. Like, be real about it. But like in here, you've almost got to like be like, maybe I am a successful real estate investor, right? You got to convince yourself. Before I jumped on stage, the first stage I ever spoke on, there was like 10 people there. And that 10 people, first stage I ever spoke on was 60 people there. I was terrified. Out of my mind. I didn't believe that I belonged on stage. I didn't believe that I belonged up front. I just put myself to an uncomfortable position. And all the way down those steps, I kept telling myself, I could do this. I could do this. Yes, of course. It's just speaking. It's just words. It's just language. And before my mind starts shifting over to, oh my God, you can't do this. You've never done this before. What if they laugh at you? What if they make fun of you? What if something goes wrong? What if you trip? What if you say something offensive? What if you lose your job? They fire you from your company because you said something that was the wrong thing to say. And I was sweating and it was so much anxiety. And I got up to the front. I looked out at all the people. And for the most part, I blacked out. For the most part, I don't remember what I said because it was terrifying. But I talked about, I think my wife at the time, I talked about, love. And at the end, some woman came over and was like, okay, like, thank you. And I realized, like, in retrospect, like that must have been extremely awkward. Like whatever I said there was so wrong, so awkward, because they had to come over and like pull me off the stage because I didn't know when to stop. I was like, what do you want me to say next? To the guy who can, be on stage for 3 days straight and totally love it and be totally confident up there.
That's my confusion, Walt. I'm sorry. That's my confusion with the imposter, right? I don't have a belief that I can't do it. Right? Mike just spoke about every day. I'm in the bank line and I'm saying that bank money is coming to me. Right? But it's not in my pocket yet. You know what I mean? So as abundant as our minds can be, that's where I feel the most imposter syndrome, right? I believe I can do it. I'm there, but it's just not there.
I see Doug's already unmuted. He's ready to answer.
Let's do it.
Sorry, I got remuted. And it's raining. So I think there's this myth that it's not going to be there ever. And believe it or not, Albert Einstein, Maya Angelou, all these incredible people actually experience the exact same thing. Studies were done where people were going to high level like graduate schools and interviewed, and they were like, I thought it was a mistake. I shouldn't be here. Like there's this mindset that somewhere along the lines, it's not okay to be human. And the truth is, everyone has that in them. So once we're okay with and just going, okay, that's just a part of me that's, trying to measure something that's, maybe not measurable, meaning it's hard to, like what you just said, I'm doing the incantations, but the money's not in my bank account yet. That's the gap that you and I are always experiencing. And it's by being in the right environment, surrounded by people that help you elevate that idea of possibility. That's how we transmute that into probability, by accepting that it's going to happen, and just having that sort of okayness with not having that feeling of, oh yeah, I should be here, as opposed to knowing that's normal. Like what Walter shared, he went out there on stage when he was freaking out. Well, so he went out there, he learned, and then realized, I could do this. And I'm sure, Kevin, what you just shared, you've already progressed tremendously since you started. So what does that tell you? You're on course, you're on the path. And once you up level, you're gonna have another level of, what the F? I'm in a whole other sort of new game. And every time we up level, we're gonna have that same conversation. And then it's going to keep going. So embrace it. Know that you're then on the right path if you're feeling a little bit of that resistance.
Love it. Thank you so much.
You got it, brother.
Give Doug McGurk, Kevin Pereira a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we've run a little longer than I think. I say this every week, but we love answering the questions. So if there are still more questions, go to alchemistnation.com, drop your questions there. And if you're already looking for Get the Money, if you haven't found the link, Doreena's going to drop it one more time, I'm sure. For Get the Money, it's getthemoney.alchemistnation.com. That starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which gives you about 44 minutes to go get some food, get some water, get your notebook ready. We're going to be on for about 3 hours talking solely about how to raise capital, how to get the money to finance deals. And then at the end, we're going to answer any questions about finding money, financing properties, how to get the money for your investors, for yourself. There should be literally no question in your mind at the end of Get the Money. There should be no question in your mind on how you're going to finance your next deal. Hands to camera if that's a very good opportunity. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. I will see you at Get the Money. This is likely the last time we're going to do this course this year. I don't know if I'll be teaching this again. My focus is going to be more towards passive investing over the next few years and building communities. So I may not teach a lot of these Get the Money courses that we used to teach a lot of. Is that it makes sense, right? Kind of a pain in the butt for anybody who wants to get the money, but I've recorded the courses so they're out there. So this is probably one of your last chances to see me do this live and to be able to ask live questions on it. So if it's important to you to learn how to get money to invest in real estate or your business, then I will see you at Get the Money. For everybody else, have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on the next one. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best.